covering the best equipment, stats, and best in slot and darker. In the same way that you can purchase multiple sets of gear, we want to be able to get you into the min-maxing portion of all the stats that the game has to offer in this and some of the recommended stats per class. We're going to dive into the mobility aspect since plate pretty much has it barred as a quick fix. While covering your head and chest is essential because you're more likely to get hit in that area. Depending on how you stat yourself out and your weakness, play with your strengths and what you are weak against. As a quick comparison between all the shoes available in the game, even if the piece of equipment is a blue, nothing really tops the Lightfoot boots, which can provide huge mobility and bring you back into dodging. Same thing going back into the magic staff and the spell book. Any quality piece of equipment you find can have a perfect stat on it. Quality of the gear is only going to affect its base stats and not the roll. A maximum stat roll can have a very hard chance of dropping from any enemy in the game. So knowing that, you can understand the value in going into the trade market and being able to afford some of these purchases and perfect statted gear to play off your strengths and weaknesses. Using the filter options is a great way to search through exactly what you need. So for the mobility spellcaster business slot, we're looking at the spellbook over the magic staff. To use the cleric as an example on this, movement speed is critical to keep up with my team while casting. While I do want to stay more armored up in the head and chest pieces for most of the game's physical damage. This is where boots become one of my most important best in slot and my movement speed stats, because in a comparison of all of the boots, nothing beats Lightfoot boots, and every single quality upgrade they get gives it a base stat line movement speed upgrade. So since the majority of the threat to me is physical damage, I choose to focus that and have my movement speed be able to keep up as well too. And the majority of the damage in the game too is physical damage. Now there is niche builds where there is magic damage on rogues, but min-maxing into high roller is going to come down to what I want to play off of my strengths for this class. I'm confident in dodging some of the spells and a lot of melee attacks. But since there is a majority in physical damage, it seems that physical damage reduction is one of the key focuses, as well as movement speed and spellcasting speed. So out of all the slots on each piece of gear, I choose to focus that in terms of going into high roller for competitive team comps, and in that individuality on strengths and weaknesses. Everything may be different, depending if you're full plate. Maybe you don't have a problem with dodging some of the spellcasting and such, but you are going to have a reduction in your magic resistance. You're going to be weak to magic. Or maybe you are in full plate for the head and chest piece, but you want to run your gloves, boots, and plate pants off, wielding a longsword or a halberd just so you can connect your shots better and utilize how good you are at mobility. The stat benefit that you receive is going to depend on what weapon you have out. And in light of all this, it really is going to come down to your strengths and weaknesses and how you want to best play into your team composition or solo. Consider your survivability and what your strengths and weaknesses, and start working your way with min-maxing a set for high roller from there.